All right, so Margaritaville, a lot of moving parts on this one. So let's buckle in, have a fun ride here. Um, got your top part. I'm gonna break it into three parts here. We got the top part, we got the middle reveal, and we've got the base. How low can you go? Um, all of our parts are. Let's see. We'll go over just see what it looks like the finished. Got this little guy right here. Zoom in, zoom in. All right, so you're gonna have regular channel letters with digital prints on the front. Main cabinet body, and it's going to have Trex around the bottom here. So connect with Johnny front office there and kind of figure out where to source this, where it's coming from. Maybe Jonathan might have it. This sketch here shows 2 layers, but it's actually 3. But the letters will stick out to the on the face there. You have a 3/4 inch acrylic logo that goes on the top of the wood once you're done skinning this. So that's kind of the overview. It's going to have back access there. So again, that's kind of how it looks like now that it's all built there. So anyway, you'll have your letters, skewers, we'll go over all that, your subframe. So parts are laid out, got the power box, got the top frame, all your side pieces, everything, all your jigs you need. You got your jigs, they're staggered, so keep an eye out for this little piece there and that little piece there. That's the seam piece for that. You have the back jigs here. You'll just load those on. That kind of seals up the back. Got all the subframe pieces. We'll go over those. Look for all that, and look for these little nuggets here. So these are important to center the pieces there. So keep an eye out for those. You'll need those with the subframe. This is the middle reveal. Everything's here. Got your skins. You have a seam piece that's going to go in a certain spot. And the way you can tell the difference between the jigs is the reveal jigs are rounded. So keep an eye out for that. So keep all your rounded jigs in one spot and look out for this little splice piece. You have 4 of those. That'll be for the center splice there. Bottom part's pretty straightforward. Got your lords and pieces there. Again, the top and bottom pieces use the same jigs. You'll be using the squared off ones for top and bottom frames. Got your skins, got your backer, you got your bottom skins, and with that, keep an eye out for this. This is a template for drilling the holes to put that logo on the bottom. So once you skin this with the Trex wood, then you're going to use that. I got your letter backers. We're going to do 090 letter backers, and you're just going to weld the returns directly to the face of these. So we'll be good to go there. And then what you're going to do is take these and just put those together and just weld them. And then when you do your returns, just make sure your returns are continuous across that seam to give it strength. Let's see. Here's your acrylics. We'll go over all that. All your 1/4 inch pieces. So here's your mounting plates and parts for that. These are going to be lords in pieces. These are mounting plates for the inside of the top box. And you got 2 lift points for lifting the bottom box because it's going to be heavy. And you've got your 3/4 inch acrylic logo, and these are going to be tap-in brass inserts. These are 1024, so you're good to go there. So yeah, just tap in 1024 brass inserts there. All right, where to start? So start from the bottom. So you'll have just your main frame, kind of like we do. You'll slide in a piece of 2x4. It's got that cut up here. That'll be for your just to give it strength. And then you're going to have 2 lift points that will slide right in, and you'll connect to the verticals there. So that'll poke up through there on that side, and that'll poke up there through that side. Go ahead and burn it like you do real good to that. And we have a power 2x2 square tube that goes through everything and pops up into the main cabinet there. So go ahead and kind of have it stick out about 1 inch like that. That's up here, this little guy. So you got the 2x2 by 1/8. And that will poke through. So go all the way to the bottom here. Pretty straightforward. You got your bottom piece, top piece there. Don't skin it. Go ahead and put it all together. Get it welded up nice. Then you're going to go ahead and build your middle reveal piece. Again, where you'll make sure that the seam goes right here, the 3rd one over, so that way you can seam up the skin. So there is a top and the bottom to this. The frame itself doesn't. So you're just going to go ahead and weld these in. There's no Lords on this one. You're just going to put this in there, Cleco it, and weld this together. So it's a hot seam. I figure once you get this isn't that big. So once you get this all framed up and you put the skin on, it's going to be nice and strong. But there is a top and the bottom to this, so keep your skins proper. So the top is going to get rivnuts put into this from the top. So squish will be on the inside, and that is how the top piece here is going to mount to the reveal. So the reveal is going to be permanently mounted to the base, and that's going to be heavy enough, and because once you get Trex on there and everything. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave this separate so that way you can work with it, easier to lift. If this thing's all in one piece, it's going to be mammoth. So we're going to keep these separate. So go ahead and build your bottom frame, leave the skin off, build this, skin it, get it ready to go, and then you can use the fact that this is still open to mount the reveal to the top piece, or to the base, and maybe just Lords it on real good. And then there's connector points to shoot screws. You can shoot screws around the perimeter, make sure it's on there real nice, because there's probably a good chance that even though this has lift points, people will be lifting this by the reveal. So you want to make sure that this is going to be a nice handy little grab handle right here. So we want to make sure that this is really installed well to this part. And once that's all done and you get the reveal installed to the base, then you can go ahead and seal it up and put the skins on the base, and that'll be that. So once that's all done, but make sure you've put your 2x2 through for power and get that all in there too first before you seal it up. So that's pretty straightforward. Let's see. Well, as far as the base, we'll keep on that. So once you get that all done and you get the Trex in, I went ahead and put pre-drilled holes on the skin all the way around. You got these pre-drilled holes here, but depending on where you need to actually cut a seam for this Trex, I'm not sure how long this will be. So you might actually have to drill your own holes and kind of pre-lay it out depending on how they want it to look. I don't know if they'll want to stagger the seams and make it look like some sort of a deck, or I don't know. You'll have to go over with that kind of a design aesthetic. So you might have to be doing your own holes as well. And that's where all these holes come in. I tried to Swiss cheese this as much as possible for access in. So I don't know if they'll want to mount all the wood from the back so there's no screws, or if they want it to make it look like a deck, a deck look where you just have a couple of deck screws at each seam, and you might have deck screws along to make it look like it's sort of a wood finish from the front with screws, or if you're going to need to use these holes from the back to mount it from the back. So it's kind of, you'll have to sort of figure that out once you get this thing all skinned up. I even put holes on the side there, so that way you can reach in. So you'll have this access from the top to kind of reach in there and try to frap all that stuff on when you get done. So we got the mounting template. So what this will do is once you get the Trex all on there, then just go ahead and make like a little mark, a little piece of tape or something, and mark up your center, and then just go ahead and bump this up against the reveal, and then this will let you see your center mark, and then go ahead and put it on there good, and then just go ahead and drill your holes right here for that, for the logo. And then like I say, these will just be brass inserts, 1024, and then you can just go ahead and silicone that right on there, and just that's where that'll live. So you do that after you do your Trex. So, but that's what that's for. That's how that works. So that should take care of the base and the reveal there. And so this guy here is kind of similar to a Loma Linda. You'll have the arch top that's up here. I went ahead and made this seam. You'll go ahead and bend that, and that'll give you something to fillet weld to. You'll have that little, go ahead and bend that 90. And then on these two ends, go ahead and bend these 90. So everything that you see is facing forward. So make sure you're forward there. So make sure you got your faces facing you. You got a left and a right. And that's as you see it facing you here. So you got the left and the right. And then go ahead and bend these 90 as well. And then what that'll do is give you a nice that'll give you a nice 90 here. So you bend that 90, you'll have a nice little flange that you can kind of tuck up in and just shoot some fillet weld against that 90. So that way it'll be nice and straight along that edge. So that'll be the top. So let's go over the subframe. because you don't want to get ahead of yourself on this. The subframe is going to have to be slid in and installed before you put the rest of the sides on. So go ahead and get your bottom all together, and then go ahead and put the middle spars in. Go ahead and put the middle spars, and maybe put these jigs in. Put the jigs in up top. The jigs are staggered. Keep the face facing facing forward, and that way the seam will be on this one over here, and the seam will be on this one over here. You put that piece to the back, seam it up, and then when you go to weld it on, just make sure you weld it up all nice. So pretty straightforward. So you can put the arch jigs in to keep these up and jig these to the bottom, but you don't want to put the top and the sides in because you're going to have to skewer in. As you can see here, you're going to have to shish kebab these subframe pieces in. So you'll have two subframe pieces, one directly against the face frame, and the other one will be back a little bit, as you can see here. So the reason for all this is to cantilever all this weight. You're gonna have a lot of weight here, and obviously just by attaching it directly to the face, this is way too much torsion and torque. So we have to have these skewers go towards the back, and I wanted all of this weight to be supported by the framing and not supported by the face. So that way the face doesn't have all this shear weight trying to just rip it off. So that way this takes all the load off of the actual face pieces and transfers it to the frames. So as you can see, the face frames will face to the front with the open C channel towards the inside of the cabinet, and then the opposite is true for the ones in the back. The ones in the back will face towards the back, and the C channel will face to the front. That way all the holes will align properly. So you can see where there's a front and a back. So make sure the fronts face front and the backs stay back. Another way to see the difference too is you have the front has cleco holes that you can cleco and line up directly to the frame pieces. So the front ones will slide in and they will attach directly to the frame pieces. As you can see, they tuck up nice and tight right there. That way you can get a nice weld them in good, and then that way we're transferring all this weight to the frame rather than the face. The little nugget pieces you need to find, those work for the back side. So the front pieces will be aligning with the frame using the cleco holes there. The back pieces will be loose to slide back and forth. There's no way to reference it. So you will have these little nuggets here. So look for these nuggets. They'll have the cleco holes. Slide them in, and then if you put a nugget on each side, that will lock in the piece right where it needs to be. So you'll have this little nugget on this side, and you'll have the nugget on the other side. And those are only for the back ones. That's only for these ones back here. And that way these lock in. Once these are locked in, go ahead and burn them real good. Get them nice and tacked up nice to the frames to keep them going left to right. You can just leave these on there, it's fine. Or I guess not, they'll probably fall off when you cleco them, whatever. But these are to help you reference these to make sure the back ones are centered properly. The back ones on this one only have them from the right, so you'll slide it in and bottom it out and go ahead and tack it up. There will be nothing over here for reference, but obviously it's tacked up there. The bottom bar is split up because the power box is going to be right in the middle of this bottom bar. So you can see where it kind of lives. It kind of lives right in the middle of the sign there. So you'll have room for 2 power supplies. Probably you only need 1, but whatever. The way that box works is, let's see. Yeah, we'll go over the power box in a second. Let me finish up the subframes. So the subframes obviously are how all of this is going to mount. As you can see, your letters will have 3 different layers. You'll have the round sun logo here. That will go ahead and attach directly to the face. That's fine. So you'll just use your number 10s and you'll screw that directly to the face. You'll see where all those holes line up. The second layer, level 2, is the trees and the parrot. So the parrot and the trees are on level 2, and those are skewered through. And for those, I purchased. We have 18-inch rods. So you have an order coming at you. You've got 18-inch rods for level 2. Those will skewer through this 3/8, and you'll also have a couple of 8-inch for this palm tree here. So these are just directly attached to the face, but obviously there's not much weight, that's just to support it. So the palm tree up here does not have a subframe skewer here, you know, that you can see there. So the subframe stops at the parrot, but you do need to nail down the palm trees up here with a couple of 8-inchers. Otherwise, the different levels, level 2 is an 18 and a level 1 is a 24. So the level 1s go all the way out to the front, and that's where the word Margaritaville and the word resort hang out all the way through. So in order to figure that out, obviously there's a hell of a lot of holes going on. The 24-inch level 1s will have a reference kiss ring around the hole. So when you're looking at, when you have the back off this thing and you go to assemble this thing, you will be able to see that there's a reference kiss around certain holes. Those need a 24-inch rod. Now, once you have this thing skinned up and it's all ready to assemble, you're not going to be able to get some of these rods in because the back skin is going to block it. So what you're going to need to do is bring these in from the front. So obviously the top ones here you can just bring in from the front. You're not going to need to know which one's which. But if any of these you can't get in because the skin's in the way, then just bring them in through the face. But you'll know to run, see basically the yellow holes here are 24-inch. Anything dark purple is an 18-inch. And then you'll also have your power holes that you'll run your gray cable through. So anyway, it's kind of a puzzle. You're going to have to put this all together. The way it'll work is you're going to put the purple on first, frap it down, put the face on, and then the face, yes, has holes in the face, and then you're going to skewer through, and then the skewers will stick out. So you're going to put all the skewers on first, obviously. You're going to put all the rods on first. Get them kind of dialed in close, however you're going to need. And then you're going to go ahead and put the other face, put the face on, and then put a backer nut for the next one, put a backer nut on, then slide the next layer on, and then go ahead and nut those on. And then go ahead and put a backer nut on for the next one, and then slide that on and double nut it. So you'll have room to, obviously you have a lot of room for adjustment, so you can dial this in to get how close you need. If you want to bring this nut right up against the face, close or whatever. So that's kind of up to you. So, but when you go to put this together, but again, the most important thing is make sure you don't close this up until you've put these pieces in first. Then go ahead and build the rest of the frame, get this on there, get that all welded up nice, and then go ahead and skin it. You got the skins, you got the back side, you got the front side, you got the door, and then you'll have these little intermittent pieces here, the little chunks that will fit in there, and you just go ahead and lord those in from the back. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? There they are. Yeah. Oops. So you'll have all these pieces here. You'll just lord those in from the back, and that'll kind of seal that up nice. You'll have your switch access there. So let's go back over to the power supply box. Custom power supply box. You'll fold this thing up and permanently weld this in to here. So you'll see where the power supply box actually is removable. This comes off. So you can take the power supply box out, but this part here will be permanently Clecoed in, and it'll fit in between, and you can go ahead and burn that as a little base for that ready to go. And you can see where the 2x will come up through. And that's kind of where that sits. So this will sit within the frame there. And then that gives a nice little platform for this box to sit on. And then the switch is to the back. So you go ahead and put it together. You have a lid. The lid just floats. There's no holes, just slides on. And you'll have your inside. You'll have access to have two. You'll basically be able to do 2 number 10s that nail the whole box down to that little tray, the little platform that's in there. But this is kind of how we usually do. You put them to the inside. You'll have your holes. You'll have your spots. But I went ahead and made this cover kind of allows this to be left. I just wanted this to be symmetrical, so it doesn't matter how you rivet this in. But this will cover up where the 2x comes in, and you can flip this left or right to make sure you cover it properly. So you'll see how that goes together. But again, plenty of clearance. You got your powers in. You got your switch. Again, the switch will face towards the back. Pretty much straightforward. Got your switch plate. So once that's all built, then you got your channel letters. So that all makes sense there. Yeah, look for your rods. You got your lift point Um, and like I said, you're going to keep these separate. What else we got? Oh, plates. So you'll have these 1/4 inch plates that you'll just go ahead and lords down. That'll just be kind of how this gets nailed down. This thing is going to be 5/16 bolt down, through bolt. So you're going to do 5/16 riv nuts in the top of the reveal, and then the bottom, the 090 here is clearanced to clearance the riv nut, so it'll sit nice. Also, will help kind of guide it in and nail it down where this will go right through where the lift points are. So that'll help like get it centered on there nice and get it all like where it's supposed to be. Um, and then you'll have room for the power to poke through. Let's see. So yeah, they'll just 5/16 that on. They'll do that in the field, so you're not permanently mounting this thing together. Plus, I have little holes here that maybe they could shoot some number 10s if they need to, but I don't think they need to. So, so there's that. So make sure you put the 5/16 in for that. So yeah, but you're going to keep that separate. Oh, lift point. So for this guy, you've got the number 2, or the 2x2. So you're going to slide in towards the back, this piece here, the 110-inch 2x2. That's this guy. You're going to slide that through. That's going to be your lift point. It's less than ideal, but there was really no way to put lift points on this curve without making it look silly with doors or whatever. So it's going to sit towards the back. You can come in with a strap through the open door. But again, yeah, it's going to tilt, but it's kind of the best we can do for that. So don't forget to skewer that in as well. So you're going to do these guys and also make sure that gets put in before you close this up. That'll be your backside lift point there. This little nugget here is kind of weird because the top skewer comes across, but you can see where it runs into a jig right here. So I had to make this one kind of stop before it gets into that jig. So that's the reason why there's this ear, and you're going to use that to cleco this front subframe right here. The back subframe's fine. It just goes all the way through, and you're just going to cleco it, and center it up. But that's why you have that weird ear on that. And I have them labeled, 1 left, 2 left, 3 left. So keep track of that. Power box, good to go. So let's talk about the letters, I guess. Yeah. So the letters aren't going to be any fun. You've got 090 backers. Because these are so big, you see the other video, I went ahead and just broke these apart. So for the aluminum backers, it's fine. You're just going to kind of mate them together, tack them together, and then when you do the returns, just make sure the returns go past, and there's a solid return right here, and stagger your seams for strength. Again, stagger your seams for strength on that one too. So I've got that. But yeah, you're just going to go around all the way, just reverse channel letter that thing, but it's regular channel letter, but do it on the face like we do. Same thing on here on the back, just go all the way around. Good luck with these. These look like they're going to be fun. Same thing here. So level 1, level 2, level 3. The faces do indeed have holes, and that's going to be where the rods stick through. Same thing here. These are going to be broken up so they can fit in the router. So what you're going to want to do here is do not trim cap all the way around. We're going to do a butt seam right here. So you're going to have this piece here, and you're going to have this piece here. So you're going to trim cap all the way around, and when you come to here, just flush cut it. Trim cap to here, and then flush cut it. Do not trim cap this. Same thing here. Don't trim cap across here. Let's see, I'll move this guy over here. So don't trim cap across here, and don't trim cap across there. Trim cap all the way around, come up here, stop, flush cut. You're gonna trim cap in here, flush cut. But don't forget to do not trim cap right there. And then you'll just install these like normal, but they'll just butt seam up against. And then you'll probably just take a little bit of the digital print that's going to be put on these, and maybe just take a tiny little piece of it, and maybe just kind of make a little seam cover there, or maybe a little piece of matching vinyl or something. I don't know, but you just kind of cover up that light leak. But like I said in the other video, the seam is going to be hidden behind these letters, so it's not going to really be that visible unless you want to go hunting for it and go look for it. But anyway, these are all going to be kind of fun anyway because they're going to have all these holes in all the faces. So we've never done a sign like this before where we've punctured the face, but we'll see what happens. So yes, you'll have all these through holes in the face that will allow the 3/8 rods to stick through, plus some of the magenta ones are where your power will go through. Those will be self-evident. Once you come to put these together, you'll have your powers power through on all these. So Margarita is all one, so you can run it, and then Ville is another, so you'll have a power hole here, and you'll have your own power hole for that. And Resort is also broken up into two, so you'll have two powers for that. So pretty straightforward there. The other word of warning on this is that your depths, they were calling out 5" on the drawings, but there's other drawings that conflict that say the Margaritaville is 4" and all of this part, the second level, is 3" deep. I have it drawn at 4" overall for everything here. So you're just going to want to confirm that what the depths are. So I thought possibly 5" would be too thick for everything. So I have everything drawn as 4 here. So here's 4, here's 4, and here's 4. But again, I don't know if we want to do a little thinner because like I say, there are drawings from their corporate that show that this is 4 and this is 3 and this is 3. So you obviously have plenty of adjustability. So when it comes time to put all this together, you're going to have to kind of depth set these and kind of figure out what works, and then maybe kind of make marks, maybe get one kind of depth set, make some marks for reference, and then you can mark each one and slide them in, and you'll kind of know where to start, what to eyeball. Or maybe just shoot a ruler off the back here off of one that works, and that way you kind of know how to set these. Anyway, so confirm. I got your cutout pieces here, like how many you need, per, but confirm which ones get which. This font in a 5" might be pretty rough, so you might want to see if we can get that down a little bit. Again, 3.5 is sort of where we go as far as LEDs, but I'm sure we could push this to 3, and I doubt we'll get hot spots too bad. You'll just want to test when you populate this thing. You'll want to test with your digital print to see if you got a good layout of LEDs. But anyway, so I think that's about it. Quite a bit of stuff going on in this one. So just like I say, slow, smooth is fast. Don't trap yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. Get this subframe all built in there and everything. So let me know if there's any issues. But I think we went over everything pretty good. So all right, hit me up with any questions.